So these are things that you look for in terms of causation, possibilities on what can cause discoloration issues. So you have to be almost like a trained forensics person to be able to look at one of these and being able to figure out. Now we're getting into what we did to fix it. You can see my guys right here in this photograph. They've got a lot of soap. They got the cans. They're doing the acid wash to clean the surface first. Remember, always clean the surface first, right? Every job. Cleaning system track marks. This is common. See those track marks? That's from a barracuda or a creepy. Put on a pool with low calcium fill. Bop, 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 bop. The whole thing was outlined. Differences in surface thickness. This is a common one, especially on a strip out and redo. Round fittings will be thicker so it loses less moisture. It'll be darker. See around that fitting how dark it is? Again, this is another thing, differences in fitting. These issues are all explained in section 6.5 of our NPC Tech Manual. Okay? Edge surfaces, if we've got some etching on the floor of this pool, and I was hoping Josh from Prestige, who's got tied up in traffic, I guess, is on his way. But if you use a posin modifier, posin modifiers are things like RPM, Azteca, Metakaolin, things of that nature. Universal has several different products that are posin modifiers. If you use a posin modifier on a surface, there's a high probability you will be able to clean it up and do so in a very nice way. You can see the pool is etched, and this pool here had a very happy outcome. Unique patterns. I'm going to show you some pictures of some unique patterns, and again, bowl marks where they shut the water off, discoloration, weird discoloration patterns like here. All these kind of things can be addressed by a torching process. Okay? Now, now we're going to talk about the actual process, and then we're going to break down and we're going to do the pool. Prepare the surface first, just like I've stressed about twice already. Got to clean the surface. You never torch a dirty surface. You got to remove all the water out of the pool. You got to get rid of all the organic matter. If you look behind, and Beth, bless her heart, was going to come out in the air blower and get all the leaves out, I told her, no, leave them. There's a reason I asked Beth to do that, guys, and that is because why? Because you've got to get all the organic debris out. And you don't want a lot of stuff sitting in water, because what happens from leaves is you get tannins come out of the leaves. They can create a stain. So you want to get everything out of the pool. You want to suck out every bit of water with a shop vac and make sure there's no water at all when you start the process. So the acid wash cleans the surfaces and kind of opens up the pores a little bit so that when you start the torching, it can wick or extract moisture from it. Okay? If you're doing an in-water process, like a zero-alk process first, okay, then what you want to do is you want to scrub and get all of what we call the slough off that surface, because after you do a zero-alk process sometimes, Troy, you'll get that sort of white residue left on there. You want to really scrub that off there, take a high-pressure nozzle or a power washer, wash all that stuff off. You don't want to torch that slough. Dry the surface out. Make sure all the water's out. Use your shop vac. Remove the grates and some fittings. You leave the return fittings in, because just like I explained, the last thing you want to do, it's cheaper to replace a fitting, $1.50 fitting, than to melt those threads on a threaded eyeball. Because if your torch gets in there and melts that thread, so that's why you use the specialty torches. Stay away. Start torching first. Do the walls first and the floor second. Why? People always ask me, why do you do it that way? Because remember, the plaster is porous and permeable. But just sheer fact that the walls, the water will actually work through the porosity system. It's called capillary porosity and work itself down. And so you can, it's a good way also to indicate your progress and how you're doing if the pool is a good candidate. Change tanks frequently. When they start freezing up, you're going to see a reduction in the length of your flame, and then ultimately you'll see a change in color. To burn true, we burn what color? Blue. Blue or clear. You see orange, red, or yellow, boom, stop. Because you're not producing the right flame temperature, and you're going to produce carbon monoxide and soot. And it's not a good thing. So watch the color. That's why I brought the sunglasses. Watch the color of your flame. And you gotta pay attention. As your tank freezes up, change tank frequently, as we said, okay? We have